Happy cold, blustery, snowy, icy Saturday night for pretty much everybody. It's polar vortex time, so I guess we're all getting it. I guess we'll wait for the number one man, Jacob, there to give me the 5x5 because God knows he's always first. So let's see what we got. There he is, 5x5. Happy Saturday. All right, good deal. All right. Welcome, gang, to another Saturday night. I see you guys are talking about cold weather and snow, and we're all getting it. So, kind of fun here. So, as usual, wanted to start out with, just a couple of housekeeping items here, and then we'll kind of get onto everything here. So, don't know if anybody saw this. This just came out before we went online. Uh, But I guess Nancy Pelosi had a meeting with the Queen of England today. Okay. And I got the transcript of some of it. So it's kind of interesting. Pelosi had gone up to the Queen and asked her, said, Your Majesty, obviously, how do you run such an efficient government? Are there any tips you can give me? And, the Queen's response was, very, professional, Queen like, telling her the most important thing that she could do was surround herself by very intelligent people. Pelosi, of course, frowned and then asked, but how do I know if the people around me are really intelligent? And, in the video, the Queen took a sip of tea and said, oh, that's easy. You just have them answer an intelligent riddle. The Queen then pushed a button on her intercom, said to her secretary, to please send Boris Johnson in. Okay. Boris Johnson walks in the room and, yes, Your Majesty. Queen smiles, looks at Boris, and says, Answer me this, Boris. Your mother and father have a child. It's not your brother and it's not your sister. Who is it? And without missing a beat, Boris had replied, That would be me, Your Majesty. Very good, said the Queen. Pelosi went back home and asked Joe Biden the same question. Joe, answer this for me. Your mother and father have a child. It's not your brother and it's not your sister. Who is it? Joe says, I'm not sure. Let me get back to you on that one. He went to his advisors and asked every one of them, but none of them could give him an answer. Finally, Biden ran into Sarah Palin, who was out eating dinner one night. Biden asked, Sarah, can you answer a question for me? Your mother and father have a child that's not your brother or sister. Who is it? Sarah answers right back, That's easy. That's me. Biden smiles, says thank you. He goes back to speak with Nancy Pelosi, says to Nancy, hey, I did some research and I have the answer to your riddle. It's Sarah Palin. Pelosi gets up, stomps her feet, looks angrily at Biden, and says, No, you effing idiot, it's Boris Johnson. And on that note, we'll start the night. Okay. So, thought I'd start with something silly because God knows we could all use a political joke for a change. Okay, so I noticed Jacob is in here. I believe you are the only mod right now, my good sir. So hopefully the other ones catch in. I noticed somebody had said that North Shore is taking a break. I saw him in live the other day, but if he's taking a break, that's more power to him. Sometimes we all need one. Fortunately, I'm still vertical, so we're good. Okay. So just wanted to say hello to everybody and a couple of comments. First one I want to say to is Lisa Preps. You all saw the video this morning on me taking Angry Preppers and Alaska Preppers grocery store challenge, obviously, because a bunch of you guys watched it and I spent most of my day answering comments. Lazy Saturday for me. But then Lisa had put up a video this evening and she had gone out in Ohio and done the same thing. So it's nice to see a lot of people giving us some ideas of what the costs are in different places, because there's people considering moving or just wondering what they're paying versus everything else. So, thanks for doing that, Lisa. It's kind of cool. All right. And I see RBF says, Calf says, time to raise a glass of pepper wine. Yep, I got mine. So hat's here, wine's here. You can tell it's Saturday night. So my one glass of wine for the week. Okay, so just kind of go through here a little. I saw Val's in there. Val, you got to stay awake for an hour. That's the best I can tell you. Becky's in here. Colleen, Steve. Well, Mama Preps 4 is in here. Who else is in here? Oh, Jules is here. Hey, Jules. Bruce here, Lisa Hofer, Prepper Nerds in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Prepper 101. Teresa, David Green, Darren Farrell, Amy Arsenault, Chief Jim. Okay, a lot of the ones I know. TJ's in here. Deb K, Eric Johnson, Grumpy Old Man, Moldy Soldier. Okay, we got the whole gang here as per normal. I thought I saw somewhere in here that Sean had popped in. There he is, North Shore. Glad to see if you were on a break, Sean, off your break and back to being crazy with the rest of us. So, all right. Well, if I missed you guys, greetings, everybody. Glad to see you all for a Saturday night, at least seeing you virtually on the names. You guys get to see me. I get to see who you are. Okay. So, same rules as always. Open fire, rapid fire, Q&A. Please, please, please put them in all caps. We will go through anything, as long as it keeps us all out of the FBI surveillance and jail, we're good. So, all right. So let's see what we got in the way of questions. I'll kind of roll back up here. Where are we going? Okay, 22222. We know North Shore's in here. Snow. Okay. Keith Kronk is a new sub. Welcome to the family. We try to have some fun in here, so enjoy the party. We got a bunch of hellos. Hello to y'all. It looks like a few of you liked my joke. So go from there. I can't say it's original. It was something I saw today, and I thought I had to share it with you guys. We were laughing. Yeah, Prepper Book Club, the party hat, always on a Saturday night. So it's the only day I get bring it out. Okay, John Sorbo, cold Iowa. I think you could say cold United States. I think we're pretty much all there. Maybe not South Texas, but from what I heard, Florida's got areas in 20 degrees too. So, down at Boddington Farms here. Okay, so we've got the representatives from Oz. We're in good there. Keith, what are my thoughts on ammo shortages? It ain't going to get better. I talked about this, and obviously you're new, so you didn't hear it all. I talked about this before the election. I said, if you're going to get it now. We can all remember last summer buying a box of 9 mil, for example, cost you $11, $13. Now you're paying $50 for a box. I've said this before. You guys probably, you heard it before. Okay, sorry. But ammo is going to be the way that they're going to stuff gun control down our throats. Okay, if they can't stop you from buying a weapon, they're going to stop you from buying ammo. Okay, because there's nothing in the Second Amendment that says we have a right to bear ammo. We have a right to bear arms, but doesn't mean they can give you anything to put in it. Okay, now. If you all saw what's going on in Missouri's House of Representatives, if you will, passed House Bill 85 Friday, and that is making Missouri a Second Amendment sanctuary state. If it goes through their Senate and signed off by the governor, that will forbid any of their law enforcement to enforce any sort of federal rules about confiscation or anything like that, and also is a civil penalty. This is the part that I really get interested. It's a civil penalty of $50,000 paid by the offender to the offended, not to the state, to the offended, for violating their rights. So that would technically mean if Beto O'Rourke comes down and says, I'm taking your 22, Missouri law would say Beto owes Joe Smith 50 grand. So, but as for the ammo, it ain't going to get cheaper. Don't expect to see it on the shelves anytime soon. Yeah, we're getting dribs and drabs, but one of two things is going to happen. Either Crazy Joe is going to keep the ammo companies from producing it, or the federal government's going to keep buying it so we can't get it, or somehow. But they're going to do their best to keep it out of our hands. That's going to be the easiest way for them to do it with gun control. Diane Colbert finally made a live session. Welcome. Glad to see you. Okay, let's see. Bruce here. What's up with Mike Lindell's not showing his documentary? What do you mean not showing it? He did it. He showed it 3 times yesterday. I've got the link to it. Okay. And here, if you give me a second, I'll see if it works real quick. If you can get it. A replay. Two. Yep, it works. Okay. If you want to see where, if you want to watch it, the website is Michael J. Lindell. So Michael, the letter J, Lindell.com. One of the mods, if you can put that a link in there real quick to it, that takes you right to his uh, documentary here on everything. So, and it does work. I just checked. Okay, where are we going down here? Whoops, and we go flying away on me again. Got to find out where we went. Wish I knew how to stop this thing. Okay. Uh, Anglo-Saxon Gypsy, hello to you. Mama Preps for, you're welcome for the garden planner. I'm glad that was helpful for you. I'll say it again for any of you guys that are new. If you're looking at planting your gardens or whatever, want to know how to plant them, how to fertilize them, when to plant them, et cetera, shoot me an email. It's pinballpreparedness@protonmail.com. I've got a spreadsheet I've put together that has everything I grow. There's probably about 40 different things on there. So it's not going to be everything. I don't grow collard greens or black-eyed peas or something like that, but a lot of the stuff there. If you want that, I'm more than happy to send it to you, tell you when to start your seedlings, what size cups to start the seedlings in, when to put them in the garden. Obviously, you got to adjust it by your zone. I'm in zone 6. And then a fertilization schedule for them all the way until harvest. If you want that, shoot me an email. More than happy to send it to you guys. Okay. Don't go out paying for this stuff like that. Okay. I put this together over years. Obviously, I had to adjust it when I moved here, but it's pretty accurate. And if you just adjust the dates, it should work fine for you. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Voodoo Queen Herbalism is in here. Good evening, my dear. We were just talking about your great state of Missouri. Okay. Amy asks, how are my seedlings doing? So I was up earlier this evening checking. My pepperoncini are all about an inch high. They have all germinated. My bell peppers and my Marconis have about half of them have broken the surface. Those are good. My leeks are all about an inch high. I've just started to get the first few onions coming up and nothing on the strawberries yet, which doesn't surprise me. A, strawberries take a while to germinate, and B, strawberries are very difficult to grow from seed, so I'm trying them. If they work, they work. If they don't, find them out a couple of bucks for a seed packet. Okay, but the rest of the stuff's all good. My pepperoncini, good enough that I actually had to take the dome off of it already. And all things considered, consider I planted them a week ago. I think it's pretty good germination, so doing good. Keith Brooks, how am I going to prepare that pork loin? Okay, so if again you all saw it, when we get it, we slice it up into chunks and freeze it, so get a meal-sized chunk. The two biggest things we'll eat out of pork here is slicing it into boneless pork chops, okay, and then fry them up or bake them or whatever we want to do that way, or traditional Russian recipe, pork and cabbage. Well, be Russian, be Czech, however you want to do it. I like it with some caraway seed, and Mrs. Pinball likes it with a little bit of sour cream. So we kind of combined the Czech part and the Russian part. It now has caraway seed and sour cream in it, and it's really good. And once I can get the garden going and grow my own cabbage, then it's even better. So, but those are the two most common ways. We'll do stuff. I mean, occasionally we'll make stroganoff or whatever out of pork or whatever instead, which does bring me to another thing. Now that you got me talking about food. But yeah, we'll use it for different things, a stir fry or whatever. But the two main things are either pork chops or pork and cabbage. However, you guys have been asking forever. We went out and got Mrs. Pinball the apron she required. We will be making borscht tomorrow, and I will be filming it. And chances are it will either be the Monday morning video or a second video on Monday, depending on how busy I am tomorrow with all this other stuff. So finally, you guys will have it in about 48 hours. So there, okay. Borscht, taken care of. Stroganoff, don't ask me, we'll get there. There's my favorite hat. Yep. AGC 55. What am I buying with my stimulus check? I am on a mission. Okay. Literally every spare penny that we have that doesn't go to pay bills right now is going to pay off the mortgage. Okay. We are trying to get the house paid off as fast as we can. And so if we get any extra stimulus money or anything like that, that's where it'll go. Because, and when you see my video tomorrow, you'll know exactly why. But, my biggest fear right now, prepping wise, is having housing. Okay. I mean, we're not behind in our mortgage or anything like that. So, I mean, we're fine there. But with all the hyperinflation and everything like that we all see coming, that's my fear. And so we want to make sure that no matter what craziness happens in the world, we got a roof over our heads. Okay. That nobody, with the exception of property tax, nobody can come knock on the door and say, knock, knock, knock. Here's your foreclosure notice or something. So that's our game plan. We're hoping we can do it in a few years. So that's the game plan. But that's pretty much where every penny's going. My pantry is well stocked. I've got my year's worth of food. That's what I plan for, is 1 year, as I've said before. Some people want more, some people go 6 months, whatever it is. My goal is a year, because at that point I figure that gets me through an entire growing season, harvest and everything, and then I can replenish a lot of it from my gardens. So that's taken care of there. All my other stuff, my boomsticks, my freedom seeds, as everybody likes to cover, I'm well covered there. My security, I'm well covered there. Fuel, I've told you about rotating. So, and I've said this in many videos, getting the bills paid off, and the only bill I've got left is the mortgage. And if we can get that paid off, then that's where I'm going with it. Okay. So that's my plan. Whether you'll agree with it, disagree with it, or whatever, getting out of debt, I don't see as a bad thing. Okay. Where else are we going yonder? RBF Cat, that's actually a good question. Got any good ideas on how to explain prepping to younger people? Now, depending on younger, if you're talking about your kids or whatever, depending on how young, okay, if they're 5, 6, 7 years old, make a game out of it. Go pitch a tent in the backyard, practice using your skills. Go have the kids help you start a fire, gather sticks, teach them how to do that, whatever. That's all fine. If you have your teenagers or whatever and you want to get them doing, this is a trick I always think is a great idea with the teenagers. Don't tell them. Just go throw the circuit breaker in a house one day. Don't tell anybody. Just, oh my God, the power's out. And see how long they can last without their phone, their iPad, their video games, whatever it is. How we can have breakfast. Oh my God, Dad, I want to take a hot shower. What am I going to do? Okay. Let them deal with this for 4, 5, 6 hours and see what happens. And once they start to break, then go throw the breaker back. And then you can sit down and explain to them, okay, that was 6 hours. Now imagine what happens if it's 6 days or 6 weeks or whatever it would be. All this was a power outage. That was nothing, okay? When you get into the young adults, okay, my daughter's age, the college age, the after college age, that gets really rough because we all remember being 20 years old. We knew everything, okay? There was nothing our parents could tell us, and there was nothing any adult could tell us. We were 20 years old, and we knew everything, Then, of course, we went out and got our first real job and looked at our paycheck and go, what the hell is all this taxes stuff? And then, you get that huge dose of reality when you try to start paying your own bills and go, why is there more month left at the end of my paycheck? But how to deal with the 20 somethings, that's on a case by case. I can't even give you an answer on that one because they're either going to see that the world is a complete calamity right now, or more likely they're going rah rah rah, pay off my student loans and free this and free that. And, so, I mean, they could be hopeless. Again, it goes back to, you vote Republican before age 30, you don't have a heart. How does that one go? Yeah, if you vote Republican before age 30, you don't have a heart. If you vote Democrat after age 30, you don't have a brain. So, then wait till they get to 30 and then have the conversation with them once life's, giving them a dose of reality. Okay. David Williams, how many decrees do you think Biden will stop at? Well, Biden can't count as high as he's already at. Okay. Remember, this is the guy that said, "What am I signing here?" Uh, he's just going to keep going. I mean, which makes absolutely no sense to me because he's got both houses of Congress. Okay. So why can't you make these laws that would then have to be overturned as opposed to executive orders? Because executive orders can obviously be written off at the stroke of a pen. Uh, but I think right now, all these EOs are just an effort to thumb his nose at Trump. That's all it is. Okay. You know, hey, we're going to do this, then we'll let Congress deal with it. That'll be it. But I'm going to stop everything right away. So, Kevin, thank you very much for the super chat. That is greatly appreciated. I do like it. And cheers right back to you, sir. All right, let's not start a drinking game. Okay. Foggy Mountain Man, seen it for 80 bucks a box here at two different places. Christ. You know, I know 223 and 556 is about a buck and a quarter around right now, from what I'm seeing, and that's just your regular 55 green stuff. That's not even green tip or anything like that. Uh, Down at Boddington Farms. Okay. Baby, if you heard me earlier, you're not ignoring anyone. You're busy canning beets because Mrs. Pinball hasn't made borscht. Like I said, we are doing it tomorrow. It will be up Monday morning. So what is that? Your Tuesday evening or something like that, or Monday evening for you guys. It'll be up in the next 48 hours. Jim, you finally figured out live chat. There you go. Good. Well, glad to have you aboard. Amy, why can't you make your own ammo? If you're saying you can, okay. There's a lot of equipment that's needed to be done. I needed to have. I don't have it. Okay. I've never reloaded my own in my life, so I don't know how to do it. So you have a lot of equipment that needs to be done. But then the bigger problem, at least from what I've heard from people, is even finding the primers for the bullets is extremely difficult right now. So even if you've got the empty casings, the lead, and the powder for it to find the primer, it's useless. You still need something to set off that powder inside the cartridge. And we scrolled along there, so I got to go back up here. Do 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 do. Hang on, I gotta find you again. There we go. Okay. Kevin says he's got his greenhouse built today. 3 more weeks till you plant in it. I'm hoping you're at least trying to get some seeds outside or start it inside, unless you're like up in Maine or something like that. But yeah, depending on where you are, probably. Like I said, I've already got onions, peppers, strawberries, leeks. Those are all going. Next weekend will be pretty close to the rest of my vegetables, and my planting time for everything will be between mid-April and the end of April, so beginning of May. It's not my fruits. My fruits got to wait a little bit, but okay. Bruce, I'm sorry. You said you couldn't find it on YouTube, and you guys get way ahead of me on questions. I'm at about halfway, so I'm not sure what you're asking about. Patricia Skubish from Valparaiso. I used to live in Fort Wayne, so drove through Valpo plenty of times going back and forth to visit family in Chicago, so I know the area. Good old 30, and don't speed in Warsaw. Natasha, Johnny Seed Supply has a handy seed starting calculator. Enter your last frost date and it calculates it up for you. Yeah, that one works. The Farmer's Almanac one works. Burpee's got one. There's a lot of them in there, but you kind of have to do a little bit of it on your own because every one of them is going to say something a little bit different. Look at the seed packs. Some seed packs will say 8 weeks before the last, or start your seeds indoors 8 weeks before the last frost. Some will say 6. You can have different different types of green beans will have you start them early, or different types of broccoli or whatever it would be. So you got to kind of check on your seed packets too. So there is no tried and true. Again, it's the same thing. If you know your last frost date for me is April 30th, okay, that doesn't mean May 1st guaranteed it's not going to frost again. I mean, I remember one time being a kid in Chicago, it snowed in June. So, there's no hard and fast rule. It's just kind of a general idea, give or take a week. But yeah, don't start your seeds too early because then you're going to wind up with these monster plants inside that they're going to die, or if you start them too late, they're not going to be ready to go out in the garden. So, but yeah, Natasha, that's a good tip. Thank you for that. Okay, John Livington, Mr. Green Thumb. Not really. Some of my stuff works, some of my stuff doesn't. Okay, my onions sucked last year, didn't get squat. My beets were crap last year too. Now my peas, my beans, my cucumbers, all that sort of stuff was great. Sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. That's part of the fun of gardening. It's like, crap, what did I do wrong this year? Sometimes it's nothing that you did. It's just the weather or the soil or something that happens. Gene W., when did I start germinating all my seeds? Onions, leeks, and my peppers, I started last Friday. So what was it, the 31st, thereabouts, something like that. I'm not looking at a calendar off the top of my head. And yeah, I mean, like I said, my pepperoncini are already all an inch high. If you watched my video on my seed starting mix and then on how I made my own grow lights a lot cheaper, that's the setup that I use. My own seed starting mix and then my own setup on grow lights. One of these days I'll take a picture of it for you, but I mean, it's nothing fancy by any means. Joel's pork and cabbage, yum. Yep, one of my favorites. Uh, Jim S. YouTube keeps yanking it. Lake Feria showed it yesterday. And again, I'm sorry, I don't, because I'm behind on trying to catch up with the questions. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Mama 97054, I have not planted yet. Need to this week. I'm going to try some tomatoes, pepper, and strawberry plants. The rest start from seed. Tomatoes and peppers you can do real easy from seed. Strawberries are a pain in the butt. Okay, but tomatoes and peppers, even if you, go to the store. Not, I mean, tomatoes. If you planted your tomatoes now indoors, you're going to have easy tomato plants, no problem. You're not. It's not even time for me to plant my tomatoes yet. So rather than go spend $3 on a tomato plant, go spend $3 on a bag of tomato seeds, and grow a couple of dozen plants. Strawberries, I'm not going to disagree with you on. Strawberries, I'm trying them just because I can, but I, don't. The rest of it, don't waste your money on the plants. Amy, you got 44,000 more to go. I'm assuming you mean on your mortgage, and you're closer than I am. Kevin, do I do companion planting? Yes. Okay, and I talked about this in the video. There's certain things, we've all heard of Three Sisters. I don't necessarily do Three Sisters, but that's definitely an example of companion planting. The things I look at more are, what am I trying to avoid? Like your brassicas, your cabbage, your broccoli, your spinach, or not your spinach, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. Don't plant those next to each other. Not that they're going to compete, but the biggest problem that you get with those is they are relatively susceptible to disease. And if you get disease on your broccoli and your cauliflowers right next to it, it's just going to jump right over and you're going to have all your brassicas diseased. Spread those out. Other things that you want to keep away, peas and carrots, you don't want those anywhere near each other. Those don't do well. But peppers and tomatoes, there's another one. I'm trying to think give me a second here. I'll look at because I've got a map for all my gardens. I mean, this one's not going to be appropriate for everybody else because obviously it's on my gardens. But if I open this up here real quick, yeah, like the one, and I'll give you just my main garden, my first garden, okay, and it's just going in rows. It's my garlic, then my Brussels sprouts, then my beets, then my zucchini, then my celery, then my spinach, then my green beans, then my carrots, then my cauliflower, and then my peas. Okay, so those are how you're staggering them apart. I mean, those are all going to be 2 to 3 feet apart at least for each one of those rows. You know, companion planting again. If you're going to grow asparagus, and we just talked about strawberries, asparagus and strawberries, believe it or not, those are two plants that grow really well together. Like I said, peppers and tomatoes, those work. Uh, yeah, okay, so the rest of it. But yeah, give you some ideas on those right there. But yeah, for companion planting, you can go search online real quick, companion for tomatoes, and you'll find what's it, SF Gate, I think, is really good about giving some good companion planting. That's where I got a lot of my information originally, and I do look at their stuff. I think that's the website, sfgate.com. John Sorbo, we have the Porsche now, just need the aluminum hat. One of these days I'm going to remember it. I keep forgetting to do it. Uh, Vester Dillon, good evening to you too. Hope all is well for you as well. Things are doing quite well here, except for all of us being cold. Uh, Stuart, I had to rewatch the statement on Borscht 3 times. Okay. I can see this is going to happen. You guys have been begging me for it. We're going to put the video up and I'm going to have like 13 people watch the video. That's probably what will end up happening. But I will give you the one tease. It will be the one chance you get to meet Mrs. Pinball. So, Keith, Jim, wait till you see the pork prices coming soon. Yeah, I mean, not that like I said, I see probably $1 raise in pork prices, and not going from $2 to $3 is any big deal, but that's still 50%. I mean, imagine how much we'd be bitching if gas went right now from $2 to $3. Okay. So, if you kind of put it into perspective a little bit, 50% hike in anything is going to get you. John, how's the new dog doing? The new dog, I guess, is doing fine because the new dog did go to the shelter. I know quite a few of you have asked me about it, but the other two were not having anything to do with the new dog in the house, and so we got a hold of the Humane Society and took the dog over to the Humane Society. Like I told you guys, it's a no-kill shelter, and even the folks there, because he was a puppy, they figured he was probably less than a year old. They figured that there was going to be no problem whatsoever getting him adopted. So good there. Okay, let's see what we got. Now I see the moderators are in there. Sean's got somebody deleted. Thank you for doing your job, buddy. And so does Jacob. Look at this. You guys are on it. F Home 2C. America's a free country giving away free money. Yeah, free country. It's free to come in. You get free money. The only people that have to pay for it are the people that were already here. Okay. We get to pay for everybody else to have free stuff, and then we don't get any of it, right? That's the thing. Our taxes go to other people. Okay. Voodoo Queen just had a homemade laundry soap class for young adults to save money. So is that borax, laundry powder, and I forget what the third thing that you put in there is. There's something else in there. And just a little bit of soap. So yeah, I mean, but Christ, you can save a ton of money doing that. Jim, with the price of fuel going up, thought on GM eliminating internal combustion engines by 2035. I think it's suicide if they do it. Okay, there's still too many things that need internal combustion engines. Okay. Yeah, we've got the little electric lawnmowers but I mean, think about all the stuff that runs on gas, guys. Okay. Not only cars, your boats, your motorcycles, your generator. What good is an electric generator if the electric's gone out? Okay. I mean, it's some of this silly stuff. I mean, it's still going to be there. Could gas get more expensive? Sure. Okay, just look at what they're paying in Europe for gasoline. It's the equivalent to about $6 a gallon. But I just don't see the internal combustion engine going away. And I mentioned this, I think it was in today's video, but there was somebody who did a video that said the only way the United States could become carbon neutral by 2050 was if we brought a new nuclear power plant online every day between now and 2050. Okay. So we're not, they can have all these grandiose ideas with a year pulled out of the midair to say we don't want to have any more carbon emissions, but it's not realistic. Okay, remember, these are politicians. They lie. Okay, they say whatever it is that's going to get them elected, and then they don't do any of it. So what is it? California wants all electric vehicles and everything like this. There is no infrastructure for it. I mean, this is the problem. If you think about it, I mean, wherever you guys live, okay, think about taking a trip to, I don't know, Texas or, wherever, or Boston or whatever. Think about a trip that's 1,000 miles, okay? You drive. Typical electric car supposedly gets about 500 miles to a charge, all right? But you don't just pull into to an electrical station and spend 10 minutes and fill up your charge. No, you need about 8 hours to charge that thing. Where are you going to do that? Okay. Do the hotels have it? No. Okay. Is there a truck stop on the side of the road that has it? No. I mean, there's a few places that have maybe one or two. Okay. But if the entire country is on electric vehicles, I'm sorry, sir, we'll have that. You can put your name on the list. You'll be available for a week from Thursday to charge your car. Okay. It's not logistically possible. So that's why I don't see it happening. I mean, gas you can fill up with and you're done in 10, 15 minutes tops. Okay. Electric, you can't do that. Bruce, tell that to those who lost the pipeline jobs. I don't know what you're saying there. But yeah, all I can say is that's Biden's bullshit. Brian Barbie, what do I think of the $50,000 in student debt forgiveness being introduced? Okay. Where do they stop? Okay. And I'm going to throw a couple of them at you. All right. Like y'all know, I mean, my daughter's about to finish college. Okay. Her mom paid a third of it. I paid a third of it. And my daughter paid a third of it. Okay. And for the most part, she worked her way through college and she took out some student loans. It's fine. Okay. She'll pay those back. Mom and I each paid our third. Now, let's say they forgive all the student loans effective July 1st this year. Everybody's got them in the past. Now, your kids go into school come September 1st. You have to pay for it full ride. You can be a little upset? Sure. Wait a minute. All these other kids just had their loans forgiven. Why does my kid who's starting school in fall of 2021 have to pay for it? Okay. Now, how about all the families who kid worked a job, saved money for it and everything? Are they going to get their money back? Like Elizabeth Warren said, hell no. Okay. So they're all getting screwed, right? And as the one guy in the campaign said, why am I getting screwed for doing things the right way so the people that were irresponsible and just borrowed money get the thing forgiven? Okay. Good point. All right. This is it. So where do you draw the line? It's a slippery slope, because what happens after this one? Oh, you know what? The next thing we need to do, we need to give every kid who graduated college from 2020 to 2030, we need to give them $50,000 for a down payment on a house. Okay. Or we need to forgive everybody's car notes. Why don't we just forgive all the debt of everybody in the country and we can go back to trading rocks? It doesn't make logical sense. And again, it has to get paid somehow. The banks aren't just going to go, oh, well, we don't get our money back. They're going to want the money. What does that mean? Bailouts. Where does that come from? Taxes. So now what happens? Now all your neighbors have to pay for that kid's college education. And they're going, but I'm 72 years old. Why is my income tax going to pay my 40-year-old neighbor's kids college? Oh, because that's what you voted for. Okay. So yeah, big problem. Again, Democrats can't think past here. They never, ever, ever think of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Brain fart. Consequences of their actions. Okay. It's like, oh, it sounds great today. It's a good talking point. It'll look great on CNN. It's a stupid idea, but hey, you know what? We'll do it because I'll get my 15 seconds on CNN tonight. Okay. I got to find out where we were again because in the meantime, we scrolled up. Uh, oh, Jim S. Okay, it was in reference to the Lindell video. YouTube keeps yanking it. That's why I gave you the link to the one that's directly on his webpage. Okay, michaeljlindell.com. That one is up there right now. Don't try to deal with it on YouTube. Just go watch it. It's directly, he's got a direct link to it. Okay, so I just saw that as I was scrolling back up, so I'm trying to find out where we were. Hang on. Wow, you guys got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna have to stop talking, answer these a lot quicker. Jules, yeah, the student loan forgiveness pisses me off to no end. I have girls that have to pay their own way and have jobs. Yep, you and me both. Yep, Bruce, reloading, you have to have knowledge on how many grains of powder, etc. Yeah, that's it. It's not something that you just play. You make yourself a little bit of a hot load, and all the thing you know, your weapon blows up right in your face. Mama, you can't plant most stuff until May. Yeah, but you're going to get seed if that's then you're like in the same area I am. My last frost is April 30th. You're already starting seeds indoors now. Brett Ringer, any ideas when we see canning lids in stores? Hell, I still can't find quart jars. Okay, not wide mouth, not regular mouth, not nothing. I mean, I've got a couple of cases of them, but when it comes time for gardening this year, I'm not going to have enough jars, and God knows I'm not going to have enough lids. So yeah, we better get something. But you got to remember, Ball, Curve, all the same company anyway. This isn't their high production time. They're still trying to get caught up from last fall. So by summer, we my guess is we're going to see it because they're probably ramping up production like crazy because they've got it. They know this year there's going to be a big call on it. David Williams, remember the Alamo? Yeah, no, it's remember the USA. Ain't that the truth? Kevin, Southwest Texas, started indoors last week. Seeds, good. Yes, Lisa, you finally get to meet Mrs. Pinball. Yes, you do. Apron and all, thanks to Sean. Sean kind of lit the fire under her. Old Rider, been reloading ammo for 45 years, only buy new ammo when I need to replace the brass. You're luckier than most of us, buddy, that you know how to do it and you got the stuff to do it. Okay. Scrolling. Mama 97054. Have very nice weather down here in Texas. My favorite time of the year. I hate hot, humid weather. I'm glad it's your favorite time of the year. This is the time of the year I hate the most. January and February to me are ugh. By now I've got spring fever and it's just cold. It was 24 degrees here today. No snow, but it was just nasty cold. And I don't want to get outside and do anything. And I hate sitting around doing nothing. So you guys, thank God, kept me occupied today. Chief Jim, how long do potatoes take to grow? And if I pull up my sheet real quick, potatoes, where are they on here? Potatoes, 120 days, so 4 months from the time you put them in the ground till the time you're harvesting them. Foggy Mountain Man, no lids, no rings, nowhere around here. Yeah. I actually, and I think I told you guys this a couple of months ago, I actually bought some on Amazon and they came back and they were complete frauds. Okay. They didn't say ball on them. They weren't the right color or anything like this. They were made in China copycat crap. I got my money back, fortunately, but don't buy them on Amazon. Uh, we all know what the legit ones look like. These ones, I mean, there was spelling errors on the box, so it wasn't ball. Kevin, you bought strawberry roots last year that didn't work out. Yeah, strawberries are tough. Like I said, I'm going to try them with the seeds. If I can't, I'll go to the nursery or the big box store and I'll buy a couple of strawberry plants to fill in my little pots. Uh, Montana Grizz plant. Too soon to plant outside in Montana. Yeah, that's going to be too soon to plant outside Montana for a couple of months yet. Yeah. Probably too early for you guys to plant inside too, because you're not going to have anything going by then. I don't even think with 40 below wind chill, I don't even think a greenhouse would do you any good. Lisa, is garlic easy to grow? I've had some in the fridge in a while. Is sprouting green on top. We're thinking of planting them in a pot. Garlic is simple to grow. You plant them about 6 inches deep. Uh, Depending on where you are, But you're in Ohio, yeah. So you're gonna have one crop a year. I can get two. I can get a fall crop that I plant in October, November that I'll pick in spring, and then I'll get a spring plant that I pick in November. But yeah, you're going to plant them about 6 inches deep. You need some relatively loose soil. Okay, don't try to pack them in heavy clay or anything like that. It's not going to work. Kind of work just like an onion. They need some of that loose soil so they can bulb out. Uh, if it's already sprouting, you're good. I usually get about 50 to 60% germination on my uh, garlic cloves that I plant. When you plant them, you're planting the cut side down, the pointy side up. Obviously, if it's already sprouting, you know which side is up. But yeah, they're real easy to grow. It's one of those almost set it and forget it type plants. Stick it in the ground as long as it stays relatively moist. You're fine. You don't want soaking wet or anything like that. Southern Bell teacher, your tomato plants are outside. They still look good. Yeah, you must definitely be Southern, because God knows it. Even Tennessee ain't happening. Uh, Naomi Moran, I grew seedlings from a tomato and a pepper and pepper scraps. Yeah, absolutely. You can, and I'll say this again, guys. I know, everybody always harps on heirloom. Okay. Now, sure. With an heirloom anything, okay, you're going to get an exact replica of the plant that you planted this year, next year by saving the seeds from it. Doesn't mean that you can't save seeds from your hybrid tomatoes or your hybrid peppers or anything like that, whatever you get. You don't know what you're going to get next. I mean, obviously, you're going to get a tomato again, okay? You're not going to plant a tomato so you can get peppers on it all of a sudden. You just don't know because you had the mother plant and the father plant, or whatever those were, those are crossbred. So you might get, again, the mother plant or the father plant. It's still edible, okay? It may taste different. It may taste better. It may taste worse, but it's still edible. So in a worst case scenario, don't go, oh my God, all I got is, they don't have any heirloom plants. I can't plant anything. You can go get anything, go get the seeds that, are hybrids and plant them and save the seeds from them. It's still going to be food. So, I don't think in any sort of SHTF event, you're going to be super concerned. I don't like the taste of this tomato. I'd rather starve today. I don't see that happening. So, but practice. I mean, that's part of the fun of gardening sometimes is, holy crap, what's this? I grow something different, every year that I've never tried before. We grew Russian tomatoes last year, black Krim tomatoes. And they're really cool because they're a red tomato on the bottom. It's almost got a black rim on the top. They're from Crimea. And they were good tomatoes, So it's like, okay, we tried that. So I got 3 different kinds of tomatoes I grow now. All right, so be it. And Keith Kronk saying right there, on tomatoes, you can take a store-bought, slice it, and then plant them and watch them grow. Yeah, slice it vertically so you get the seeds in there. You can stick that in the ground. It'll grow. You're going to have to thin it because obviously there's more than one seed. And you're going to all of a sudden, if you're lucky, you're going to have 6 or 8 plants come up right there. But you can thin it, separate it, and go from there. Jules, I love the garden and planting talk. Yep, it's getting that time of year, and it's always my favorite thing to do this time of year. So let's see what I got. Gracie Quinn, am I getting snow tonight? Not that I know of. We got some fees, but some ice may come in. I think it's Monday, Tuesday. So that'll be easy. Grumpy old man, if I plant some ammo, how long will it take till harvest time? If you find out, let me know and tell me what the fertilizing plan is for it too. Okay, let's see. Oh man, Keith, I'm sorry, man, if you work the pipeline. Yeah, my condolences, brother, because that just sucks. I mean, Biden's an idiot. It's like, oh yeah, I want to bring the country together, and the first thing I'm going to do is get a whole bunch of people fired. Moron. So, Southern Bell today, gas was $1.94. You are definitely in better. Usually gas here is really cheap, and we're at 2.25. America First, hello. Don't worry about being late. You're here. That's what replays are for. Graysky Preps, bell peppers doubled in price over last year. Yeah. We've seen them get more expensive here too. So I'm hoping to God my pepper crop this year is better because I love peppers, especially my pepperoncini. And if we don't have peppers around the house, it'll drive me nuts. Uh, let's see, where else are we? Do, 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 do. GMS, Jackson, Missouri is one of the cheapest places around for fuel, huh? Okay. And of course, it scrolled right at me as I was reading that. $1.97 to $1.99. So yeah, you're doing better than most. CR, local grocery store had a sale of 80% ground beef for $1.99 a pound. Bobby picked up 40 pounds. Said the butcher gave him a weird look and said, "You really need 40 pounds?" Yeah, it's what freezers are for, dude. You know, I mean, we bought a quarter of a cow. I think I got 30 pounds of ground beef in there. They're all nice little 1 pound tubes. They stick in the freezer. We want beef. It's like, okay, here's a pound of ground beef. Poof, we're done. Hey, break it up into 41-pound packages. Fine by me. $1.99 a pound is good for 80% beef. Uh, yeah, North Shore gas is 4.40 there. Now, granted, it's a Canadian dollar, so that means it's still about 3.75 for what we're paying. But yeah, that's your good old Trudeau, the jackass of the year. Uh, let's see, where else we got? Yeah, Wrench 31E. Oh, gee, that's got to be an MOS. I saw $7 a gallon in Italy back in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Yeah, I was gonna say when I was in the Czech Republic in 2005, it was like $1.50 something a liter, so about $6 a gallon. Uh, Deb K, North Shore. I'm assuming that means where do you live? He's up in Canada. Where do you like? Montana Grizz fan, we're going into a grand solar minimum. Actually, we're already in it. It started last April. Uh, yeah, and you're right. The politicians don't realize the decrease in food production. I mean, this is it. The grand solar minimum is going to be one. They're going to go, oh, see, it's climate change. It's climate change. It's carbon this and carbon that. Bullshit. Okay. Grand solar minimum is actually something that's backed up by science. Climate change is not. Okay. Climate change is argued by science as it ain't real. But, that doesn't, science doesn't make politicians. Politicians have to come up with these grand schemes of craziness. So, but yeah, we're already in the grand solar minimum, i.e., the cold weather we're seeing. I mean, this is what we're going to have: colder winters and colder summers for the next 30 years. That's the way it's going to be. Yeah, blue collar prepper. If you can't make it plausible, you can't make it possible. Bingo. You know, uh, on US 30 in Warsaw, you have to speed up to keep up with traffic. Man, all I know is there every time I drive through between, you got into Warsaw coming right over the hill there, and there'd always be a cop there. They'd pull you over for doing 56, and you didn't pick up speed again until you got near Columbia City. Uh, okay. Keith, it's all about control, power, and money. They don't care about us. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's all control. That's all they're trying to do. See how much we will bend before we break. Uh, Gracie, you're reading 1 second after. For those of you who read it, did you get horribly depressed? There are some sad points in the book, especially with the dogs. I won't say I got depressed. It was very eye-opening because there were things in there that we never really think about. But, also look at it from our perspective, with the exception that one couple or one family that lived out in the woods. There was nobody in that town in the book who was prepped at all. So look at that bright side of things. Go, okay, this is an instruction manual on what not to do or what could happen if I do nothing, and just feel better for yourself. You go, okay, I'm better prepared than the characters in this book were. Bruce saw a video where AOC was almost hit with a bullet that killed JFK. Yeah, who knows? Just like she was almost killed in the January 6th. Deb, my granddaughter's paying for her college as she goes. Yeah, like most of us. Everything is free. Yeah, guys, you aren't going to get any positive comments out of AOC from me. Just don't even look at it. If you put a clown nose on, that would be an improvement. Uh, what did I get all caught up? I am actually caught up with everything. Yeah, WS 1 second after is a great motivator. Yes, it is. Okay. It's one of, somebody had asked earlier, that actually would be a good idea. How do you get the young people to prep? Give them that book and say, here, read this and tell me what you think. That might be a good idea. Now, if they can pull themselves away from, the bars and the video games long enough, but if they sat down and read the book, because you don't have to be about 50 pages into that book before all hell breaks loose. And it's one of those books you don't want to put down. I'm actually reading 1 year after right now, because I want to read the rest of the series. But that might be a good idea there too. It's a non-threatening, not an "I told you so," but hey, here, read this. It's fiction, but you tell me what part of it you don't think is possible. It couldn't be real. So, yeah, glad you guys brought that up. It's actually a good suggestion there. See, you guys help me as much as I help you. It's kind of the way this is supposed to work. Southern Belle. I'm in the great, not so great state of Louisiana. Mardi Gras time, though. Laissez-faire won't relay. Okay, so who's it? Broussard Homestead, who's somebody that I watch everything. They're down there in Louisiana, everything. They were talking about, they did a live stream this afternoon at 1 o'clock that I bounced into, sit there and watch for a while. So I guess you're having a little bit warmer weather, but from what I saw, it's supposed to get pretty cold for you guys. You guys might be getting ice in southern Louisiana here in the next day or two. Graysky preps. What a strange family. We sat around and talked about what and who we would eat first, starting with the reptiles. As long as you don't start talking about each other, you're good. God. And like I said to anybody else, you leave my dogs alone. Okay. I will shoot people before I will shoot my dogs. Oh, yeah. David Williams. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Rub it in. Down in Mexico where it's warm. Jim Rupp, do I raise livestock? No, where I am, because I'm on the lake. TVA will not let me do it because they're afraid, because the lake here is used as water source for a huge area. And so they're worried that the runoff from livestock in the proximity I am to the lake will pollute the water. So no, we're not allowed to have livestock here. So holy crap, it's 9:57. We've already done. Sean, answer me real quick. Are you going on after we're done tonight? Because usually North Shore Preparedness goes on and he is, as he calls it, the cleanup crew. But I don't know if he's going to do it or not. I usually like to ask. Nope, no live tonight. Okay, all right. So I guess he's still on his break, but graces us with his presence. So thank you, Sean, for at least coming in here and doing that. So do appreciate you coming by and playing with us here. But okay, so we are a couple minutes. Dogs don't stand a chance to live in China. They never have. They're dinner. So we're a couple minutes short, but I'll just give you a couple of points here. I am going to be doing on the 20th, so 2 weeks from today, there is a 4-hour podcast with Tradcat Night, if any of you guys are familiar with it. They're bringing on some of the names in the prepper community, and I'm one of them that's been invited this time. So each one of us has about a 45 minutes, 30 minutes to discuss a topic, and then about a 15-minute Q&A, and then there'll be a wrap-up of Q&A for about an hour with all of us. I got the details on it this afternoon, so I will try to get that posted up to you guys sometime in the next day or two. If y'all are interested in watching that, it's from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock Eastern on the 20th. Then, of course, I've got my live stream after that, so that's going to be a busy Saturday for me. So I will put that up. If you want to watch it, great. There's like I said, 3 other preppers on there. If you give me a second, I'll tell you who they are. Who else is on there? It is, it's going to be easier if I do it this. Okay. Let's do it this way. Hang on. I will tell you momentarily as the page opens up. It is Jim Walton, who's the owner of the Prepper Broadcasting Network. Morgan Rogue, who's Rogue Preparedness. Me, Kylene and John from the Provident Prepper, and Stefan Verstappen, who is, I guess, an author, researcher, and adventurer who's written a bunch of books about prepping and survivalism and everything like that. So just let you guys know that's out there in case you're interested. I'll put it up. If you want to, you don't. It's, hey, it's just somebody asked me to do something. I mean, I'll do it. So that's that. And other than that, I will see you guys in the morning. And we're going to talk about your legacy tomorrow. So y'all have a good evening. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Pinball out.